The easiest way to explain Luke's shifts in literary style is to say that parts of his gospel and Acts stem from earlier sources that had been translated from Hebrew. This seems particularly so when word after word, detail after detail, expression after expression of a given passage reflects Hebrew snakes and includes Hebrew idioms. Moreover, some of these idioms do not appear in the Hebrew scriptures of the Old Testament nor in the Greek translation that they inspired the Septuagint. Therefore, these Hebrew idioms embedded in the Greek of the Synoptic Gospels remain as faint witnesses to an older stratum of the Synoptic tradition, which at one time had been written in the type of Hebrew spoken in the 1st century AD. Some of the Dead Sea Scrolls and Bar Kochva letters were written in this type of Hebrew. As an example of a Hebraism in the Gospels that is not Septuagintal, let us consider the Greek verb bállein, to throw. In the Septuagint, bállein can mean to throw, and a number of times it serves as an equivalent for the Hebrew verb zarak. In the New Testament, however, it assumes an additional meaning, to place or to put. Combined with the Greek prefix preposition ek from, bállein, in the form ek bállein, can mean to extract or to take out instead of to cast out or to throw out. In the New Testament, bállein often carries a softer connotation than it does in the Septuagint. In Mark chapter 2:22, we read, "And no one puts new wine into old wineskins." Here, bállein has not been translated as throw, but put. Throwing wine into old wineskins would be ludicrous, yet if we insist on following the pattern set by the Septuagint, we would need to translate Mark chapter 2:22 as, "And no one throws new wine into old wineskins." This suggests that the gospel writers, or those writing before them, were not trying to mimic the style of the Septuagint. When the evangelists describe Jesus ridding someone of a demon, they use the word ek bállein. The English translators of our Gospels have rendered this usage of ek bállein as to throw or to cast out.
In Matthew chapter 8:31, a horde of demons entreated Jesus. If you're going to cast us out, that sounds like an appropriate translation. But from rabbinic sources, we know that the Hebrew verb lehotsi apparently was used in New Testament times, translated literally into English. Lehotsi means to take out a demon and not to cast out. The softer New Testament connotation of ike bállein is the exact equivalent of the post-biblical lehotsi. By the time the evangelists were writing, the softer connotation had displaced the harder one as the primary meaning of the Greek verb bállein. Thus, comparing the Greek of the Gospels with other ancient texts and translating passages from the Gospels into Mishnaic Hebrew, we acquire a most useful tool for refining our English translations and gaining insight into Jesus' teachings.